centuries has been raiding Roman commerce. The Emperor has honored us with the task of seeking out and destroying them.
Hello everyone, this is a book review of two books. This one in front, and also its companion, or this is the companion to the Oxford Classical Dictionary. OCD is how I'll refer to it from now on, which has been through 4 editions since its first manifestation way back in 1949. Times have changed, and so has the OCD. It's now in its 5th edition and has become a living resource, as they like to say, and it has gone online and online only. Fortunately, there is or will be free content, but that opens out the question, why pay for an online dictionary at all when there is already an online dictionary? Well, this is the central point of this video. And the answer is, in fact, pretty succinct and to the point. There may very well be wildly, entirely, and absolutely different. I have 2 examples that I hope will serve well enough. If you wish to double check for yourself, have a good look through the entries for Apollo and Minerva in the Wikipedia as compared to the OCD. So, given the fact it is now online, will that make it in book form more available and affordable? But whether that is the case or not, there is a lesser version, this book here, called the Oxford Companion to the Classical World. Contrary to appearances, this is really exactly the same as the OCD, literally verbatim, word for word. And sure, it does say that it has been halved in length by removing much of the academic reference, that is, the specialist bibliographies attached to particular entries. But otherwise, individual entries have not been shortened at all for this companion volume. They even found room to add in some illustrations. So here's a few that I've marked, the kind of thing. Here's that one. Pretty striking stuff. And this one, it's just the whole page. It's opposite Augustus. This is in France. And this one. Again. Here he is. Okay, so yeah. There is the possibility also to search in this volume via a theme, which might prove kind of pretty useful. The chronology of the content is broadly 1500 BC to 600 AD, give or take, though mainly it's all 800 BC through to 300 AD, or CE. Thereafter it's arranged alphabetically. Okay, so the OCD from the 3rd edition makes the following claims. As an authoritative 1-volume guide to all aspects of the ancient world, OCD has no competitor in any language. And then they follow with no other single-volume work of a reference remotely approaches OCD in the sheer quality of factual detail contained, and all our informal inquiries at the outset of this project showed that scholars and non-specialists alike turn to OCD for quick but authoritative and well-documented answers to concrete questions about the ancient world. Close quotes. It was written by 364 leading scholars in their respective fields. Interestingly enough, they had the following to say about the 3rd edition in contrast to the previous edition with respect to academic trends. We have tried to give a voice to the increasingly interdisciplinary character of classical studies. Thus, we reject the sharp distinction made in the preface to the 2nd edition between classical and archaeological. The reason given for the 3rd edition that was published in 1996 was due to an explosion of scholarship since OCD2 that was published back in 1970. And again, bringing things up to date and quoting from the OCD webpage. The 1st edition of the Oxford Classical Dictionary appeared in 1949, aiming to provide an authoritative 1-volume guide to all aspects of the ancient world. But what is the ancient world? In post-war Europe, the answer may have been relatively clear. Classical Greece and Republican Rome could still be seen as the cultural roots of a continental civilization now deeply riven by conflict. Although OCD1 aspired to be, and in many ways was, a work of disinterested scholarship, it was also of its time an attempt to condense all that was perceived to be ennobling into one volume. The subsequent 70 years have changed all of that. Close quotes. And the interdisciplinary nature of historical scholarship is again given its due. But to sum up, the editor-in-chief, himself a professor of Greek culture at Cambridge University, concludes that the OCD is deeply rooted in scholarly expertise. And I think that is pretty well the whole point of all of this. So this is a money-wise, the fourth edition looks like on Amazon.co.uk to be a whole load of money. The third edition looks a bit more affordable, under £20 for the UK, and that's a little bit more in euros and a little bit more in dollars as well. But maybe things are different on .com. I haven't checked. But this little guy, I managed to pick up for just £3.75 in my local charity bookshop. It's sort of kind of, well, there's plenty of it. There's over 700 pages of this, so but that could be ideal. So that's it, and well, bye for now.